Hey everybody, and welcome to the Jet Set Insider. I am Robert Victor Anthony Murgatroyd the first. I always wanted the first, but I digress. And to my right, this is the lovely, the talented
Kimberly Murgatroyd.
Say hello, Kimberly.
Hello, Kimberly.
Okay, so everybody has been asking us, why you keep putting all this business stuff on podcasts? Where's all the travel? I don't know why I made them sound that way. But they keep asking me that stuff.
He usually makes everybody sound like our dog.
Which she can do a dog voice. You got to hear it. So we decided that she does. You got to do it. Hey, Dad.
Hey, Dad. Listen. I'm a bitch.
It's what our dog sounds like.
That's what my dog Gia sounds like.
So everybody's asking us, like, where's the travel stuff? So we decided that we need to do a podcast that sort of addresses some various different aspects of our travels, maybe some stories, some tips, some... You look like you want to say something.
Yeah.
You want to say something?
Yeah, because you're rambling.
A little.
A little.
I'm only 9 seconds in.
It's called the Jet Set Insider, and we are taking you inside our life of travel and stupidity, really.
So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of just take you through some different stories, tips, tricks, and all that kind of stuff. So what do we got lined up for these kids today, Kim?
Well, today we're going to talk about your man crush Tiesto and our experience with him and a club called Cavo Paradiso in Mykonos this summer. We have a little segment we call the Ball Breaker, which is going to be pretty funny. Today's story is going to be about booking a table for New Year's Eve at One Oak in New York. Then we're going to talk about cool travel shit that we know and that we love and that we use just to pay it forward, pass on some tips to you guys. Doing a little traveling 101 because my little dog Gia, hey, it's Gia.
I love the Gia voice.
You love it?
It gets me every time.
Gets you every time. She's going to be traveling with us this Christmas, so we're going to talk about traveling with a pet. And last but not least, we're going to finish it off with a little segment we call Kim's Cocktails.
I think we are going to get the explicit tag. As I'm kind of looking down at my table here at the list of things we're going to talk about, I think we're going to move. You know, you have to make the decision with a podcast if you're going to say I'm old enough to know this guy, George Carlin. He had the 7 words that'll get you banned from TV or whatever he called it. I think we're going to fall into that category. So we might as well just go with the explicit iTunes tag right from the beginning and just say, we are going to say, fuck. I did it.
There, you said it.
I did it.
Congratulations.
Explicit.
Woo!
Everybody, we are now...
Explicit. God forbid.
All right, so let's go into the first segment, which we like to call... I don't have any sound effects yet, so I'm going to make them up.
Clip of the week.
That wasn't bad. Clip of the week, Tiesto. Okay. So do you want me to go first on Tiesto, or do you want to go first?
Well, let me set it up with this one. Can I set you up to set it up?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we're getting ready to go to Mykonos, and my lovely husband here has a newfound love for club music. Now, there's a 12-year age difference, and when I was growing up, the rave scene was big, and clubs and all that music was pretty big. So I listened to a lot of it, and in college, I did the parties and the whole thing. He missed that because he grew up in the 70s, so he was doing like Saturday Night Fever, you know. So now he loves this club music. So we're getting ready to go to Mykonos, and he's looking at the Cavo Paradiso list of who's going to be there. It's a really interesting, fabulous club that is kind of an indoor-outdoor club sitting on a cliff overlooking the water in Mykonos. It's really kind of a unique experience. And we had done it before. So he's looking at the DJ list, and he sees Tiesto. So he looks up who Tiesto is, and Tiesto's going to be there while we're there. He's never heard of him before. So in his infinite wisdom, he sends Tiesto's manager an email that says something like, "Dear Mr. Tiesto, I really think that it would be in our best interest.
I'm taking it from here.
In our best interest to do an interview together.
No, I'm taking it from here.
I think I could really help you expand your music.
No, hold on a second. I'm going to take it from here. Okay.
No. And then he realizes later.
Hold on.
And Tiesto has something like 10 million fans on Facebook and is the biggest DJ in the world.
Okay. All right.
So it's
hold
pretty
on.
funny how he's going to help Tiesto grow his audience.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it from here.
Funny.
So everything my wife's.
Hey, Dad.
We're going to have random.
Io stupido, Tiesto.
Okay, that's not Greek. We're going to have random Gia, which is our dog's name. We're going to have random Gia interruptions, I see. So when I found out that Tiesto was going to be there, I was still in the States. So I spoke to a beautiful, lovely, fantastic, talented lady named Eleni at the, oh my God, I spaced on
Belvedere Hotel.
Belvedere, wow, I spaced on that. Belvedere Hotel, fantastic hotel in Greece. And Eleni is our gal. She is, I wrote a blog on her called The Rock Star of Front Desk Girls. She's incredible. Anyway, so she told me that, I called her up and I said, Tiesto's going to be in town. I heard about it through some friends, and, you know, can you get me some tickets? So she calls back and she says, they're sold out. I'm like, I'm not coming to Greece for 2 months. And she said, yeah, I know, but it's sold out. It's done. I'm like, is it like Cirque du Soleil Tiesto? Like what is it? Is it
Cirque
like
de la Tiesto?
Cirque de la Tiesto? Like what makes this thing so big? Like, who is this guy? What is it? And she said, no, he's a really, really big DJ. I'm like, a DJ is going to sell out 2 months? Like, a DJ is going to sell out 2 months in advance? She's like, yeah. So I was like, okay, is there any way you can get tickets? So she pulled some strings and she got us a table. And we're going to talk about a table in a minute. But getting a table is a bit of a pain in the ass because you pay ridiculous amounts of money.
It's actually not bad in Cavo, though. Cavo was fine.
That was actually worth it.
Yeah.
But the point is, you pay a lot more money than, you know, the $40 or $50 to walk through the door. You get this big table and you got to buy, you know, a $4 trillion bottle of Absolute.
Digressing.
Tangent. So it's what Adam Carolla does. I love that.
Gia needs to do that.
Yeah, we'll make Gia do tangent. Okay, so I get there, and our friends at Mykonos Exclusive, which are...
Are you just ignoring the whole fact that you tried to help Tiesto build his fan base?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I said, all right, well, if it's going to be this big a deal, let me
interview the guy.
Let me get an interview with whoever this Tiesto character is. So I sent an email, and the email I get back is nothing. Crickets. Okay, so I called some friends that I know in Europe who are DJs, and I said, can you get me his management? And they're like, sure. I got the management. Crickets. Okay, and I'm like, screw you.
You're like, how big is this DJ that he could possibly not want to be, you know, on my show?
So the closest I was able to get to Tiesto
Was his headphones?
No, was the resident. I actually did buy his headphones. And for those of you that are on audio, you're going to have to go check the video. We have 2 feeds of this podcast, audio podcast, video podcast. But here, let me have this. These are the Tiesto headphones, which he was playing, which he was wearing while he was...
This should explain the fact of my husband's man crush now on Tiesto.
Okay, so...
Go ahead, caller.
I was able to get an interview with the resident DJ at Cavo Paradiso, but I was not able to get the Tiesto interview. So I'm like, who is this guy and how is he so big? So, okay, so midnight rolls around, which is pretty much the time that the club opens when we're in.
So now
I'm fast forwarding. We flew there. We're there. We're getting ready to go see him. Okay, so it's midnight. And it looks like, now the island of Mykonos is a very, very small little island. It looks like every single man, woman, and child and a boat, 20 boats from Athens just came over to Mykonos and lined up, thousands of people at midnight from the door out to, I don't know how long the queue went. And I like to say queue, even though I'm American, I still like to say queue. It makes me sound more intelligent.
It's better.
The queue went on and on and on.
It was crazy.
So the good news is, because we had a big fancy table, we didn't have to deal with that, and we were able to come in the special VIP big shot door, right? So we get in there, place holds 2,000. There are 4,000 people in this club. Holds 2, and there's 4.
The
which
rules
means,
in Greece are slightly flexible. Yeah,
it means if you can get 4,000 people to pay, fine. Sardines away, okay?
Sardines.
So,
Okay then.
like sardines, like you're in a can, like a sardine. You're packed
gotcha.
like sardines.
Got
Am I
it.
that old that nobody says that anymore?
No one says it anymore.
Okay, so I go with my friends Darren and Tony, and Elsa and her husband, and we're all kind of hanging out.
Mykonos exclusive.
Promotional consideration provided by.
They're an amazing couple. They're so much fun.
Crazy good. We'll go talk about them later. So the resident DJ that I interviewed starts about midnight. No, actually, it wasn't him. It was somebody else who started about midnight.
Get your story straight.
And it was good. And I'm like, okay, you know, I'm feeling it, having a couple cocktails, having a good time, got some great friends, we're enjoying it. But like, I'm not getting like why 50 bazillion people are in this club. Well, 2:59, all of a sudden, the energy changes. The clouds separate.
This is a perfect time to say, watch the clip.
Cue Tiesto. Okay, we're back. Now, I hope that edits well.
Can I do something?
No.
Why?
Because this is my thing. I'm almost there.
I want to play.
Okay, go ahead.
I was going to talk about the plane.
No, that's my part.
I want to talk about it, but you screwed up.
Okay, so let me get... Okay, I'll lead you into the plane.
You give the original, and I'll edit it.
Okay. So, 2:50...
Anybody that's married out there completely understands that.
2:59, Tiesto starts, okay? Somehow...
We did that one in unison.
We did. Somehow, remember, there are people who can't see this, so it's weird when you talk about what I'm doing.
Well, they should put their eyeballs on.
Well, they're driving. And if you're driving, do not pull over and watch this. Okay. So, you're gonna have to get the video feed to look at that. Okay. So, Tiesto starts. I'm going to tell you everything in that room changed.
It really did.
The vibe, the feeling, the sound quality. I don't know what happened to the sound, but it all of a sudden like a new sound system came in.
Well, what was amazing too is the whole crowd, the energy of the crowd as it got closer and closer to 3 o'clock, which is the time that Tiesto came on, started chanting his name, really wanted him to come on, and it just became this like low rumbling Tiesto, and it started to build and build and build and build and build, and then at 3 a.m.
I look over at my friend Darren, and he looks at me with this smile, and he's like, "Dude!"
And like to set the scene, you're literally we're at this table, VIP table, overlooking a swimming pool. Yes, there's a swimming pool in the middle of the club, overlooking the ocean because you're built into a cliff. So there's walls on one side and then it's all open so you can see the ocean. And it's pitch black, but now what you have is all of the big fancy yachts all along the water. So they are coming because you can hear the music into the yacht. I'm sure they're in the club somewhere too, but it was quite a scene when he came on.
So he's got this video production show. So just to give you a little background, Tiesto is a Dutch DJ, and I have since become obsessed with DJs.
They know who he is. You didn't know who he is. They know.
By the way, write into heyjetset@gmail.com, and if you've never heard of Tiesto, I know the people have, but if you never have, tell me how old you are. I want to see if it's an age thing or if it's a location thing, because I know our European people absolutely will know him. Probably most of the world other than America, but I'm curious to know. Let's do this. Let's narrow it down to America. If you're in America and you've never heard of Tiesto.
Until today. You're too loud. Get away from your mic.
Send me an email to heyjetset@gmail.com and just put in the subject line Tiesto.
It's going to be like your response from Tiesto. Crickets.
We'll see. We'll see. Okay, so then the thing gets going. The mood changes, the vibe changes, and I look up in the DJ booth. Now, Tiesto is, I think he is. I'm 45, and I think he was born a year before me. So, which is kind of ironic that he's not young. So I think he's 44, if I got that right. Somebody will check me on that, but I think he's 44. And if you look in the DJ booth, it's exactly what you want to see. Two hot chicks, big boobs, him with a beer,
whatever.
And them just with their hands in the air, taking pictures
Yeah.
on their iPhone. You know, he just grabbed two chicks out of the crowd, brought them up into the DJ booth.
Hope he doesn't have a girlfriend that you're getting him in trouble now.
Nah, that man does not have a girlfriend. So then I did some more research.
Well, let's finish up with the night. The night was amazing. And just to give you a little downside of the night. So, as you know...
Well, don't get to the downside yet.
Okay.
So I'm gonna tell the story a little bit better because I think it needs to be told a little bit better than my wife just did. I mean, I love her and everything, but she could have done a little bit better with that.
With what?
What happens when it turns from night to day?
Well, I didn't tell that. You didn't even let me.
Okay, well then I'm going to tell it. So here, listen to this. This is amazing.
Here, why don't you want me to just make this the Rob show?
So anyway, here's what happens. Right around, I guess it's about 6 a.m., the sun starts to come up. Okay? So what you think is a black wall out there really isn't a black wall. It's the sky. So you're in the club and there's this fourth wall, but it's really not a fourth wall. It's the sky. And it starts turning purple. And everybody's mood changes because we now know that we have crossed over from nighttime to morning. And there's an airport right next to Cabo Paradiso, which is this club. And everybody sort of waits until the first plane arrives in the morning, which is about 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. and
they just watch it. You just saw it on the video.
Right. So what you just saw, and I'll kind of just explain what you just saw. All of a sudden, the music changes from, let's call it dance electronic music to this symphony. And Tiesto takes his hands, points out into the ocean for you to look out, and you see these twinkling lights. It's just like headlights.
And you can barely see it.
Barely see it. And he just points out, and everybody, 4,000 people, are on their feet, screaming, turning around opposite the DJ booth out to the plane, and jumping up and down. So he takes this symphonic type music and just cranks it up to the point where you feel it going through your chest. And while it's going, those twinkling lights are getting closer, and now you can make out that it's an airplane. Now you can hear beyond or above the symphonic music, you can hear the rumble of the jet, the screaming of the crowd. So you got this mix of symphony, jet, crowd, purple sky, airplane literally coming right at you, and then it culminates where it's right over your head. The plane is vibrating. It feels like it's going to hit the building. Everybody is shaking, and then you hear this absolute scream as it roars over from the crowd and the plane, roars over and lands, 300 meters from the club. Everybody goes nuts. Tiesto changes the music. People jump in the pool, and it is a way to welcome the new day in a way that I've never quite experienced in my life.
It's really one of those things that's a once in a lifetime. Even if you're not a club kid, it's a once in a lifetime.
So I have since become, we'll get to the bad part about that in a minute, but I have since become a club kid, and I had to know more about who this Mr. Tiesto man was. And I found that he is the largest DJ in the world. In fact, just this year, he held the largest DJ concert in the world, which was at the Staples, not the Staples Center, the Home Depot Center in Los Angeles. I think he had 30,000 people there. It was just, it was nuts. It was the biggest ever.
It's pretty crazy.
But as with everything, my wife wants to point something out. There's upsides and downsides to thing. And that night there was a really, really kind of crappy thing that happens. So, honey, take it away.
So we already set the stage. We're 4,000 people in a club built for 2,000. It's drinking from it opens, I think, at 11. People are drinking from 11 into the wee hours of the morning, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Lots of drugs, if I'm honest. Lot of crazy. And when you have 4,000 drunk, some drugged crazy people screaming and yelling to Tiesto, there's bound to be something bad to happen. So sadly, what happened right around the time we left, I think we were actually walking out. When the plane landed, we got our group, walked out, went and had breakfast. As we were driving out, we saw police coming in. We assumed it was just to crowd control because the club was going to start letting out. And it wasn't. We found out later that a VIP table in the area, there's only so many areas for VIP tables. There was 2 tables. They had been fighting back and forth all night. One table was blaming the other table. These are all young kids, 20, 21, 22, 23, for stealing their bottles of alcohol, and it got kind of heated. And then around 6:37 in the morning, one kid from one table picked up a bottle of like Grey Goose and smacked the other kid over the head with it, killed him instantly. And that was really sad. They locked down the club. They locked down the island.
And then the kid wound up instantly getting they do
life.
Things differently there.
Interpol came in because it was international. They were from different countries, and I think he ended up with did he get life in prison?
That's what the Greek paper reported the next day. So this 20, how old did you say he was, 21 or something like that?
The kid that died was 21 and the other one was 23.
Can you imagine being like a 21-year-old kid partying with your friends, drugged up, you take a bottle, you do something stupid, you hit somebody over the head,
life
and you killed them? When the police
Which is
came,
really sad.
When the police came, our friend was telling us that the police came and, when they approached him, this is what they reported in the paper. They said, did you do it? And he got all intense about it.
He didn't know he died.
He's like, yeah, I did it, and that guy shouldn't have done what he did, blah, blah, blah. They go, yeah.
He thought he just hurt him.
Do you know that you killed him? And he literally, according to the paper, he passed out right there.
And he actually was in a coma for a couple of days.
It was a crazy story.
It's just 2 families ruined.
So
honestly.
Listen, we tell you good things, we tell you bad things.
It's a little behind the scenes. Not everything's perfect.
All right, so I got a new segment that I just decided to coin. You ready for the new segment of this show?
I hope it's good.
They're developing, and it's called "Stupid Things You Do While Traveling." Ding. All right, so I'm gonna start this one, and my wife is gonna finish it.
Great.
I'm gonna say.
I have a feeling I know where it's going.
I'm gonna say one sentence, and she's gonna finish it. You ready? Why did you leave the keys up?
Alrighty. So when traveling, we like to get a scooter. If the area is, for that. So Mykonos, it's all about getting a scooter or a car. Cars are more stable, obviously. Scooters slightly more dangerous, but we have one at home, so we figured we can drive it. We go to watch sunset with our friends. We just scooter up to this beautiful bar called it's a hotel called the Elysium Hotel. It's a gay hotel, but it's got the most beautiful sunsets. They have real fun shows. It's just a fun place to go. So we watch the sunset, we scooter down the hill, we park it in front of our hotel, which is an amazing hotel, and we go and take a nap, get ready for the night. We come out the next morning to see our scooter, jump on the scooter and go to lunch, and it's not there.
Gone.
And sometimes they move the scooters because you'll park it in the wrong place, and what did I tell you?
They being the hotel, because we parked it in front of the hotel. So
and what did I tell you? Don't park the scooter there?
That night?
Yeah.
Oh, honey, I had so many cocktails.
Honey!
No,
you didn't. No, you didn't.
Okay. Ow! I didn't have anything.
You're so funny.
No, I mean,
no,
I had
you did not have.
I was definitely not drunk enough where I either shouldn't have been on a scooter or didn't know where I parked it. But yes,
the next morning
you did forewarn me. Yes.
I did forewarn him. So we're like, maybe they moved it. We looked everywhere. Finally, my husband has to go and tell Christos down the street that he rented the scooter from.
Okay, so let me give you a little picture of Christos. Imagine, how old is he? 65?
An old Greek man that will either punch you in the face or give you a hug and make you baklava.
the cigarette in his mouth. Like he literally wakes up in the morning with the cigarette, goes to sleep with the cigarette, and this is what he is. And he's the guy with the half squint because the smoke is always going in his eye. Okay, he's kind of like...
Can you do the whole visual?
Yeah, he's like leaned over, and you walk in as the American, you know, and you're like, "Hi, I'm going to rent a scooter at your place." And he looks at you, and he's like, "Over there." You know what I mean? You're like, "Okay, here's my credit card." "No credit card. No credit card. No credit card. What do you take?" "Just cash only."
But you know, it really worked out to our advantage that there was no credit card on file.
Yeah, actually, it's absolutely true. So I had to go back to this guy and say to him...
Oh, and he gave you the best scooter he had, too.
Yeah, because I broke
it. Was brand new.
I broke his balls until I got a great one. And he said, "Okay, I got this one. I'm going to give it to you. It's the best. It's brand new." And it really was a great scooter. So I now had to go with my tail between my legs and say, "Excuse me, Mr. Mean Greek person, but I just lost your scooter." And so before I went in there, I knew, oh, we left the most important part out, which was when I parked the scooter, guess what I did? I left the fucking keys in the scooter, okay? Retard.
This is part of his new old man thing. He actually has left the keys in the car, left them in the door. He leaves them in our scooter all the time. So if you live near us, just take our scooter because he does it.
So I'm going to make an excuse, but it doesn't matter. But I literally tried to, you know how you turn the handlebar with the scooter and you lock the key? That's what I did. I just forgot to pull it out.
Old man thing.
Anywho, I knew. I said, "Kim, if I go back, the first thing he's going to say to me is, 'Where's the key?'"
And
I say it's,
and you're going to say, "I don't know."
Because if I say the scooter is stolen, whatever, things happen. He's going to go, "Okay, well, it's not your fault. We'll have to figure something out." But I knew if I went back to him and said, "Oh yeah, by the way, I don't have the key," I couldn't lie and say I lost the key because he's going to know. He's going to be like, "You didn't lose the key.
I lost the key and the scooter."
Right. So I had to fess up and tell him the truth. So I was like, "I think the scooter was stolen last night," and I didn't even get the last night out, and he looked at me and he goes, "You drink?" And I said, "What?" He goes, "Last night, you fucking drinking." And I said, I had like a cocktail. It wasn't a lot. And he said, "You leave the key up?" And I said, "What?" He goes, "Did you leave the key up?"
Do the cigarette.
With the cigarette. "Did you leave the key up?" And I said, "Oh, did I leave the key in?" He says, "Yes, did you leave the fucking key up?" And I said, I think I did. Yes, I do. I think I did leave the key up, but maybe not. I don't know where it is. Maybe I didn't do it. I'm not sure. He goes, "You cannot leave the fucking key up. If you leave the fucking key up, they steal it." He said, "You're giving them a new scooter. I gave you a new scooter." And he's clapping. The cigarettes, the ashes are going. Now the guy who doesn't say 2 words is telling the story. Now I'm standing there, okay? I'm shitting in my pants because I think I'm going to get killed. He walks over to the son. Goes through the thing, finds the son who works with him, and he goes, "He left the motherfucking keys up, they stole the scooter." And the son looks at me, he goes, "Did you leave the keys up?" And I said, "Yes, I did." He goes, "You can't leave the fucking keys up." And I said, I know. I said, "But listen, no matter how many times you yell at me for leaving the keys up, it's not going to bring it back. So yes, I'm very, very sorry, Mr. Scooter Greek man, but I don't have the fucking keys. I think I left them up and it's stolen. So what do we do?" I don't know. I don't know what we do.
This never happens. How about that?
Yeah,
this never happens.
Okay. So Manny, Mo, and Jack, or really like Nico, Thomas, and Stavros come out of the back. And they look like...
Jump on scooters.
Look like Borat jumping on like these 300-pound guys jumping on the scooter. And they just go in 3 different directions around the islands.
Because this never happens, they don't have the contingency plan in place, right?
To make a very long story short, every day I went in the morning.
Oh, no. Hold on. Here's the best part. He tells him about the scooter, and he goes, maybe we find it. Call me in an hour. So, because this does happen a lot in Greece. They do steal the scooters, and it's an island. You're not going anywhere. So they go and they find it. All the scooters are marked. They know the tag and everything. So he comes back to the hotel where I stayed for safety purposes to begin with. At the
Belvedere. All my friends were hunkered down in the fucking Belvedere 5-star, they got SWAT police, watching the place.
I was drinking
they're drinking. I'm fucking there shitting in my white pants trying to talk to this guy.
So
they're like, you know what? We're gonna have breakfast. You go deal with crazy Greek scooter guy. We'll be here. When you're done, tell us what happened.
So the best part is he comes back. So we wait an hour. He calls back and he said, "Did you find the scooter?" And the guy goes, "No, we didn't find the scooter." So he comes down, and we had lunch reservations across the island, and there's no taxis in Mykonos. There's like 10, and you're not getting one. So we had lunch reservations across the island. We didn't know really what we were going to do. And we said to Rob, you have to go ask him for another scooter.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Because now I'm with another couple.
And now we can't do anything.
And now you can't go anywhere without a scooter. So I said, listen.
So I know Rob, you have to go back down and ask for another one.
I go, I know I left the keys up, and I know I lost your favorite new scooter. But can I have another one? Because I can't do anything without it. Yeah. He looks at me like he wants to kill me. And I was like, I'll give you the credit card. We don't take fucking credit cards. Cash only.
Oh, but Rob got the karma. So can I wrap it in a bow real quick?
Yeah.
He gives him the Borat scooter. We went from the big, giant, amazing, stable scooter to the little Borat scooter where two of us can barely fit on it, and I'm like,
I look like an epileptic riding on cobblestones, having a seizure.
Oh, it was so funny until we go with our friends to have lunch. We're coming home from lunch, and it was windy. So Elsa, who lives there, has a car, says, "Why don't you jump in the car? Why don't the girls jump in the car so the guys can maneuver the scooters easier?" So why don't we cut to this clip? Here is how that one turned out.
Oh, no. Go. Stop. Oh, my God. Rob just fell. Oh, boy.
I knew that was going to happen.
As you can see, it wasn't pretty.
It wasn't pretty. And you can see right then and there how I feel about my husband. So sometimes we're videoing, things go slightly awry. At the end of the day, they found the scooter. Everybody's happy. And there you go. Scooter radio.
Scooter radio. Okay, so stupid stuff you do on trips. Let's move into the next segment we like to call the Ball Breaker.
Fun stuff. So we're doing New Year's Eve in New York City, which alone is tough. We decided we wanted to find something really exciting to do for New Year's Eve, the actual New Year's Eve. So we decided on One Oak. We called up One Oak. If you haven't been, it's a really small, intimate, but probably my favorite club in New York. Just amazing. Everything's amazing.
They've actually just opened one in. They're opening
on New Year's Eve in Vegas.
That's
opening night.
I may have this wrong.
What?
You can check me on this.
Tiesto's opening.
I think, ironically, Tiesto is opening One Oak in New Year's Eve.
That would be pretty funny.
Yeah.
But we're doing One Oak in New York, not in Vegas. And it's a small club, only a couple of tables. And we decided with our friends, Tony and Darren, that we usually travel with, that we were going to get a table. So we call, and, there's 4 tables in the place. And we want one, and they're going fast. So, husband, you can take it from there.
All right, so my genius friends.
And we love you.
Darren, which I love more than anything in the world. He's a beautiful human being. I'm like, dude, they have 6 tables in this club. You got to fax your credit card because we're going to split it. I think we're paying $1,500 for the table or something like that.
Why you talk of things?
Why you always have to mention the price?
Things?
Well, we're split. Well, this is travel. They want to know how much things cost. So you can get a table New Year's Eve. It's around $1,500. So, and that's the going rate. That's what they publish on Ticketmaster. You could buy tickets for it. It's
Ticketmaster.
You can. I'm no big fancy guy. That's what they sell it for. But the point is that it's New Year's Eve. There's only a couple of tables. It's a super hot club, and they're going to give it away. So I'm like, dude, you got to fax in the form. He's like, okay, I'll do it later. Of course, call him later. Did you get it done? Nah, it's been crazy. I'll do it later. Call him the next day. Did you get it done? Nah, I didn't get it. Next day, okay, yeah, I got it. It's done. Okay, I'm like, okay, cool. We got the table. It's all good. So I get a call from an amazing concierge at, his name is William, by the way, if you want to stay on the Lower East Side in New York at the Smith Hotel. His name's William. He's outstanding. He calls me up and he's like, I just want to let you know that they're
going to give your table
They're going to give your table away because we have a problem with Dr. White's fax. I'm like, you have a problem with his fax? He's like, yeah, it actually wasn't a fax. He sent an iPhone picture. I go, he what? They said, no, he took a picture of the documents and they want a fax, but he took a picture of the document and just sent us the picture. And it would have worked, but we can't see it. There's low resolution. So 3 days he waits to send the fax and then doesn't send a fax, sends a photo, an iPhone photo. So a bit of a ball breaker,
but we got the table.
Eventually got the table, and it was all good. All right, so we're going to move on to the next segment, which is called Kim's Cocktails. Tell me about your cocktail.
This cocktail I stole from my favorite late night TV producer host, Andy Cohen from Bravo. He has, and I actually think he stole it from Mark Consuelos, so I kind of feel like it's okay. It's called the Fresca-rita. So we're going to show you a video right now of me making the Fresca-rita, and then you can go online and see the actual recipe for it. Okay, so here is my Fresca-rita. This is going to be a strawberry Fresca-rita. I am stealing it from Andy Cohen of Bravo, who stole it from Mark Consuelos, so I kind of feel really good in the theft of the Fresca-rita cocktail. I added strawberries. What I'm going to do is take my glass, and this is a muddler. I'm going to muddle the strawberries in the bottom so they all kind of break up like you would if you were making a mojito. So I kind of have a little bit of less strawberry puree. Wow, puree. Then I'm going to add the ice cubes. That first to the bottom of my bowl. Then I am going to use a tequila, silver tequila. I'm not giving you exacts here because honestly, like my grandmother, a pinch of this, a pinch of that. There's no exact. Maybe a shot, maybe two if you really need one. Then Fresca. It's a light citrus, 0 sugar, 0 caffeine soda. Add that in there. Grab a spoon. Give it a nice swirl. And we are done. So this is a light, we're going to call it skinny. Like Skinny Girl, we're stealing Bethany. I'm stealing stuff from Andy and Bethany now. We're going to call it a skinny strawberry Fresca-rita.
All right, so that's it. That was our first Jet Set Insider podcast. Give us a little love. Give us a little feedback. We want to know if you like it, if we should keep doing it, if we talk too much, if we talk too little, if we should cover more of this. What do you want to see? What do you want us to do? What really helps things, by the way, is if you can make a comment in iTunes, because the more comments you get, the higher up you move in travel. And if we're going to do this, I want to be #1. So if you could help us out and just put a nice little comment, we'll keep things coming over to you. So that's it for this week. We will see you next time. Adios.
Bye.
Hello?
Hello.
All right, so we want to be... You're supposed to be this far from the microphone. How we're going to do that, I have no friggin' idea.
Right there. Hello, hello.
But is that too weird with this, like, right in the face of it?
That's why I had it lower.
All right, so let's do that. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Okay, who's still there?
It should be angled towards me because
Yeah,
I'm
'cause
more...
I got a big mouth.
Yeah.
But it does not seem to be moving very much on this scale.
Yeah.
Hello, hello, hello?
Well, but you can't do that. You have to sit
No,
and
I
talk
know.
to it.
I
So
know. I just was testing to see if it was
we're
working.
testing. So let's stop the test because we've talked enough.